What's up, Art Squad? Mr. C here with our final official art lesson of the school year, for which I thought I'd do something kind of special and tell you about my personal favorite thing to draw, the face. Making a face is super fun. Why? Because there are more than a million different ways to do it. You can go kind of realistic like this guy. You can go a little bit more abstract like this guy, or you could try to do something in the middle. And today, I am going to draw all three with you right here, right now. I want you to pick one, a realistic face, an abstract face, or something in the middle. And I challenge you to make yours different from mine. Give it a different expression. Use different colors. Give them a different story. Maybe yours isn't even a human face, you know? All right, so let's get started with realistic faces. When I'm drawing a realistic face, I always start off with a quick oval shape. So there we go. And you'll notice I don't make it right the first time. Instead, I go over one or two times until I have sort of the oval that I kind of like there. And then I split it down the middle vertically. I split it across the middle horizontally. These are called guidelines. These lines are not part of your final drawing. Okay, they're just there to help you basically aim your details that you add later. Let's do some more guidelines. Halfway between this horizontal and the chin, one more guideline. That's where the nose goes. Halfway between the nose line and the chin line, one more. That's sort of where one of the lips goes. And then finally, I like to do this really loose sort of wobbly M at the top for where the hairline goes. You see, when I add my eyes right here and here, they're sort of like two footballs on this horizontal right there. A lot of people say that eyes are halfway down the shape of the head, and that's true, but they are not halfway down the shape of the face. See, the head starts here, but the face starts here. Everything up here that I just shaded, that's hair. All right, so the eyes are halfway down the face, halfway down the head, but not halfway down the face. Let's keep going. We put two little circles inside the footballs, followed by what I like to call the chunky letter C. I do not do an actual circle for the pupil, only for the irises. See, the pupil, I leave that white spot right in here because that white spot looks like light reflecting in the pupil. Let's add some quick eyebrows. Let's have a little nose here where it's sort of like a parenthesis. It fell on its back there, and then I only do the line for one side of the nose because the other side looks like it's got light hitting it. And then this line right here, that guideline, let's put another one of those parentheses followed by like a stretched out letter M for where the lips meet, and another tiny little parenthesis right there. Now it doesn't quite look right yet. It will soon. Between the eye line and the nose line, that's where you put your ears. And then when I do my ears, I have more parentheses. A parenthesis facing out, a parenthesis facing in. This one sprung a leak and goes back into that one. And then the first one has a little dash coming out of it. And this one's the same thing, but it's flipped, which is a little bit confusing. Finally, this next part's really important. It's called the jawline. This is the part that actually gives a shape to the face. See that oval I drew before? It's just a guideline, all right? Now, before I move on to my abstract face, a couple quick tips. One, necks always touch the ear. If your neck comes out really wide from the ear, your person looks super buff or big. If your neck curves in from the ear like that, they look a little bit younger. And then finally, people don't always just go around making this face all the time. You know what I mean? They actually make expressions. So, have a quick rundown of how I like to do expressions. Here's an angry face where the eyes are more like trapezoids, not so much like ovals or footballs. And the mouth is like also a trapezoid, and the nose is crinkled up, and there's these little wrinkles in here. Then here's more of a joyful face. See how different the eyes look? People think eyebrows or mouths show emotion, and they do, but the eyes, I think, show the most emotion. Look at how little the angry pupils got, where over here the joyful pupils are a little bit bigger. Here the irises don't touch the eyelids at all because you're so angry your eyes got big. Where this one here, the irises touch the bottom and the top of the eyelid because you're kind of squinting because you're smiling. So see, a joyful face has different wrinkles than an angry face. The nose here is stretched out all the way normal, whereas here it's crinkled up. So you could have fun with that. And guess what? If you really want to experiment, you could even use these expressions to draw like on dogs or animals or whatever, not just humans. And then this is one I was experimenting with where I sort of split the face down the middle, like in half, where one side of the face has one feeling, one side of the face has another feeling. And in the future, I'll do a more detailed lesson on facial expressions. But for now, just wanted to give you some quick tools on that. All right, so this guy down here, maybe I'll mess with him a little bit. Maybe his upper lip is gonna come up and he's gonna be smiling, you know? So here's his teeth, his upper teeth, his lower teeth, and maybe he's kind of surprised. So I'm gonna bring his eyebrows up. And then finally some realistic colors. You can get some sort of skin tones. Here's a little secret. Is that if you're using a normal pencil and crayons, if you're really careful, you could actually mix the crayon in with the pencil like I'm doing here to get some shading. So this is just a really fast version of drawing a realistic face. If I'm going too fast for you, please pause the video whenever you want just to get the details. But you know, I'm not doing, this video isn't so much about how to draw a realistic face. This video is about how to draw any style of face. So I'm giving you sort of 3 different reference points: realistic, abstract, and then somewhere in the middle. And hopefully you can take some of these tips I'm giving you and find your own style of drawing the face. And as you can see, what's really cool about drawing the face is that you get to express a feeling. Now let's go abstract. When you're going with it, you want to create an abstract face, I think the first thing you really need to choose, honestly, is just where the eyes, nose, and mouth are. You don't even have to do normal shapes, like here's a triangle, that's one eye, here's a circle, that's another eye, here's a somewhat trapezoidal rectangle, there's the mouth. Now I'm just going to be having fun with this. Why do people choose to do abstract art? Well, a lot of different reasons, but a lot of what we call abstract art came from people wanting to be really expressive. That means they want to put their feelings into the way they use their supplies. So do you notice I'm putting a lot of energy into how much I'm moving my art supplies right now? You know, I'm choosing colors based off of how I feel. Maybe it's really energetic, or maybe it's very cool and calm. Maybe these cool colors, these purples and blues and stuff, represent hope or strength. Maybe they represent sadness. Maybe bright, warm colors represent either anger or happiness or excitement. You can really do a lot with a work of art that represents a face. So there's a really fun abstract face. And I don't mean to rush this, but I am moving my marks really fast, because if you don't control your marks too much, you get these beautiful, happy little moments in here where you see all this motion and energy come through. I also really like to change up my materials when I'm working more abstractly. Instead of just sticking to crayon here, I'm bringing a marker in. Having that yellow, that warm, really makes the cool of my markers stand out. So yeah, I'm having a lot of fun with this. I could actually keep going with this and maybe add some paint to it later on. But because this video is about lots of styles, not just one, I'm just gonna call it quits on this abstract face after a couple more fun little marks. But just imagine how cool this would look if maybe I painted the whole background orange or something. Let's see here. Let's bring a marker in here. More marker, yeah. All right, so I'm almost done with this one. But I think you got the idea of how much energy you can express by going abstract, how free it is, how fun it is. You don't even need a nose or hair. I mean, you can add hair if you want, but the hairs don't have to look like hairs. They can look like whatever you want. You know, this guy, I just gave him a little beard there, but it's a totally abstract beard. Totally abstract hair, totally abstract ears. And I didn't even need to add the ears if I didn't want to. So this one was super fun. Really enjoyed making this one. All right, now, finally, the last one, I'm gonna mix the two together. I'm gonna use ingredients from both. All right, so this one's gonna be really fun and creative. Check it out. So one of the first things I'll do is I will start with an oval. kind of like my realistic face. You know, I will even do my guidelines for where the eyes, nose, and mouth are supposed to go, but I'm not going to follow them exactly, right? Maybe instead of doing footballs, I'll do a circle for that eye and a rectangle for this one. All right, and then for the nose, I'm gonna stylize the nose. You know what stylize means? It means make it wrong on purpose so that it looks cool. I mean, that's not exactly what it is, but that's what I'm doing. I'm changing the face a little bit so that I can express my ideas, my feelings. All right, so this is where the mouth belongs. I'm going to make the mouth a little bigger than would be realistic. So my proportions are a little bit realistic, but I'm not trying to make it too realistic. I want to stylize it. I want to invent my own style. It's kind of cartoony. It's kind of cubist. Let me have a lot of fun here. Let's venture away from the green and start adding some pink. You know, maybe this is a robot. Maybe it's a space creature. Who knows? I'm kind of inventing it as I go. So I used realistic tricks by putting things in the right spots, but I'm also using abstract tricks by being free and expressive and using my own ideas just as much as I'm using reality. Oh my gosh, I'm having so much fun. If you were to ask me which style is my favorite, I kind of think this one's my favorite because I get to bring in the best of both worlds. I really like realistic art. I really like abstract art. And if I can use skills from both worlds, I think I can come up with something really interesting. I mean, I didn't plan this out before we started. I just kind of went on this little journey here with you, and now here we are. Look at this really interesting character we've come up with together. See, he's got some realistic shading, but he's also got some abstract marks. What if you did this activity where you didn't copy me? Instead, you just followed the same ideas, where you kind of pick random ingredients from realistic art, random ingredients from abstract art, and you end up doing totally your own thing. Can you imagine how cool it will end up looking? Oh my gosh, it'll look cooler than mine. I would love to see what you come up with on this project. All right, so let's wrap this guy up. Let's see what else we can do. I really liked what was happening when I was adding some of those yellow details in there, so I'm going to do that. And, you know, I just feel like this thing needs some red or some orange or some more neon colors, something unique. Oh, that's like the 8th crayon I've broken. And actually, if a crayon breaks because you're pressing too hard, that can be a good thing. It means you're thinking about how you're making your marks. You know, are you making dark marks, light marks? You know, I'm purposely pushing hard right now because I want my marks to come out dark. So this guy came out so cool. Let's give him like a little futuristic swirl of a haircut. So he's from like a future verse. You know, let's make that eye look like it's glowing. So I'm gonna have this sort of pink aura coming out from around his eye. Yeah, I'm gonna do some more sort of abstract designs on him. Almost done. Let's speed it up. There it is. Working together, we just created a totally new art style. We took some lessons from the realistic face, right? We took other lessons from the abstract face, and we did our own thing. That's what I'm hoping you do. I'm hoping you take a subject and find your own art style. Maybe if you're nervous about drawing faces, you feel like they're kind of too complicated or too unpredictable or you're too detailed, go with something like this. You know, I mean, all it needs is 2 dots and a line and it looks like a face. Then after that, you can start having fun. Maybe you go in a really detailed direction and it ends up coming out realistic. Maybe you keep it wild and expressive and it looks more abstract. Or maybe yours ends up somewhere in between these two. Whatever you do, it's gonna rock. I'm gonna miss you. Have an amazing summer. Don't be a stranger. Stay creative. You rock. Give me a fist pump. Later.